Hello and welcome to the GROMcast. We are Grommet Games and we are comprised of myself, MitMot,
Ryan, Galactimo.
Mike, Slyzeck.
Christian, Captain Karspy.
and today we're going to talk about some games that we've been playing and some topics that have been popular around the web recently. We're going to start with the game that I've been playing recently, Hyrule Warriors Legends. And first thing I'd like to say is it's actually pretty good as long as you have a new Nintendo 3DS. Because I've read that the frame rate on the old DS, is really bad. And but from what I can say on the new 3DS, it's perfect on the frame rate's perfect as long as you have the 3D.
Well, I mean, that's the way it's always been with the 3D or with the old 3DS and playing any game in 3D. Like you try and play Pokemon with the 3DS and it just destroys your frame rate. No one ever plays any games with the 3D on. It's just a giant gimmick.
I actually play games with the 3D on. As long as it doesn't destroy the frame rate. Like almost every game except for Hyrule Warriors and Pokemon, basically.
I mean, Animal Crossing's the only one where I played with the 3D on, but they really don't have to render much with Animal Crossing. It's just a small village. I mean,
a couple games that ran really good 3D on were Smash Bros. And Kid Icarus.
I mean, none of us are that girl from Target that we met who said she plays Pokemon with 3D on.
That's the only game she said. She said that was the only game she plays with the 3D on.
It's torture. You're basically torturing yourself to a 5 FPS hell.
But that's also because the 3D doesn't affect gameplay until you're in a battle. Because 3D doesn't work unless you're in a battle.
Yeah, there's no 3D unless there is a battle, because it would be a slideshow. Well, even more of a slideshow.
That's true. What is the new things that they added in the 3DS version that weren't in the...
Well, actually, they added something that I didn't even expect or know about until, like, a day or two before I got it, but they added the ability to play as multiple characters at the same time. You can, because like in Samurai Warriors, which is the other one that I have, you can play, you switch between two characters, and so you can be like two different parts of the battlefield doing two different things, and like you command your dudes. I'm pretty sure you could command them in Hyrule Warriors for the Wii U too, but in Legends you can play as up to 4 characters and have them all like run around and do whatever you want at the same time and like when you have all characters together on the battlefield and you're fighting a boss, then you can you get like bonuses and stuff, like it fills your SP meter more and stuff like that. And also they added more characters. What were you gonna say, Ryan?
So it's like the sort of like a GTA 5 sort of thing where you can switch between the characters throughout the battle.
Yeah, except
and
it doesn't take 20 minutes
to switch.
Yeah, you do. They're all on the screen, like the map's in the middle of the screen. On the bottom screen, and then they're like the characters are around it, and you just tap whichever one you want to switch to it, and it shows you where on the map and whatever.
I mean, that's interesting, but like, how do they do the upgrades? Because I know you're in the Wii U version. Whenever you upgraded something, like it would go directly for that character.
Yeah,
like,
it's basically the same.
So
because
it's like
the way it worked in the Wii U one was like after the battle, when you upgraded, it just gave you like you put your points into whatever you want, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And that's how it works in the 3DS one too. You can upgrade whatever character you want, even if you've never played as him before. Just like after the battle.
I always main Sheik, but didn't they add like what was the thing they added? Did they add Wind Waker characters or something? Like
yeah, they
Tetra?
did. I don't remember exactly who they added. Tetra? I'm pretty
sure
they added
the
king, yeah.
And he
Linkle
acts like his bow.
And Majora's and the Skull Kid from Majora's Mask. Those are what they added. And when you buy it, you get in the case comes with a code to download those 4 characters to the Wii U version as well.
That's pretty good.
If you got
actually, they did announce a new character that is getting added. They announced the first DLC character also.
What character?
Let me look it up really quickly. It's
coming prepared, Mike. Wow. Anyway,
I literally just thought of it right now.
Just to clarify, I don't have any input because I don't have any of those games.
You have a 3DS.
Yeah, I gave you a 3DS.
Tom gave you a 3DS. We bought you Farming Simulator 2015. You better be playing it right now, Christian. Get out your 3DS.
Hours into it.
You need at least 700,000 hours. Okay, yes.
They're adding Marin from Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah, I saw that. How is she gonna work?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. They could have added like 100 different people.
They needed to add
another random. They did it. They did it originally with Agatha. Like, why is she in the game at all?
I mean, it is Koei.
Koei?
This is
Koei
this is
Tecmo.
Dead or Alive we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay.
The makers of Dead or Alive. Like, do you really expect them
I
to?
thought you were trying to say kawaii and just screwed up.
No, Koei
It's
Tecmo.
kawaii.
I was gonna say, I
like-
mean, like, I guess if you really like Agatha that much, you think she's kawaii. Whatever, dude. I don't know.
Like
But,
this is
yeah.
this is the company that like looks for an excuse to not add any male characters into games.
There's a decent
Well, I mean-
repertoire of male characters. Even in, I mean, there's not a ton, but in like Dead or Alive, there's like 5 or 6 at least.
They also made spin-offs of Dead or Alive just for the female characters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
I mean, you know, the fighting games are always getting into trouble over like characters and crap. Like, I know, what was the Street Fighters like thing that they had? Wasn't it like that they had some like provocative outfit?
Mika's butt slap taunt.
Mika's butt slap and Cammy's intro slide in is like a camera straight into her crotch.
Yeah, and like it's sort of the same thing with Overwatch, where like there was
Well,
that
in,
one whole
Tracer's
Yeah.
pose was removed in Overwatch.
I was just wondering when we were going to get to that while we were on the topic of ass.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I saw like a video of like someone doing or like replaced whatever her name's model is from Street Fighter with Ryu, and he was doing the butt slap thing.
Yeah, Mike was
and they're
showing
like,
us that.
Yeah, Ryu could do that too. And it's just like, okay.
They replaced Mika with Ryu, and Mika is V-Trigger tag team partner with Ken, so it's Ryu and Ken were doing the tag team stuff.
That's pretty good.
And
I mean, like,
and her finisher ends with her and the tag team partner going butt to butt on a guy's head. So you see Ryu and Ken in the finisher going butt to butt on the guy's head.
it's pretty good.
It's really funny. It's really
If you're
funny.
into that kind of stuff, it's pretty sweet, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's just been a lot of that weird controversy nowadays about just developers getting sort of pushed to take over-sexualized content out, or at least what people perceive to be over-sexualized content out of the games.
Best thing about that is that it only took one complaint, and they immediately backpedaled.
Well,
I don't know about the best thing about that. That's sort of the worst thing about that.
Maybe a handful
I
of
think that's the
complaints for them
sarcasm.
to immediately remove it.
the fact that it wasn't that many complaints kind of tells me that they were already planning it.
I don't know
Yeah,
about that,
maybe.
or they were just trying to navigate out of like a shitstorm, basically that would have came about if they had kept in like that.
But one person complaining shouldn't have really caused them to be like, we're redoing an entire camera angle, model, whatever. Well, it's not going to be a model because they can just take the existing model and just reposition it. But
I think with that game, I mean, originally, I don't know, from their release, like the state of that it's in now, the state that the game is in now, I can't imagine that this is true, but from what I've heard, they were trying to make the game appeal to a wider audience. And so I'm assuming, like going on what Mike said, they were already planning, they were like already thinking about taking that out, at least thinking about it.
If that is the case,
Just
then
to make it so they don't count anyone out. They didn't want to count anyone out. But like I said, with the current state the release is in, with just like minimal features just to get it through like tournament season, is
wait, we're talking about Overwatch. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We're talking about games in general, aren't we? Just
Okay, well.
Well,
The
take it
Overwatch Tracer thing only took
Overwatch
like one
Tracer's-
complaint.
It's still in beta too, so I guess you really
It's still
can't
beta.
say much. Because the game's always in a changing state, so if they take it out, they take it out. There's nothing we can do about it.
The
It's
thing
whatever.
is, Street Fighter V, Mika and Cammy's thing change happened in the last beta or second to last beta that got removed. So it's not like
Was it
it's
after
like the same-
release?
no,
just
it
in
was
beta?
during
Okay.
it was in beta they removed it.
how much?
So there's not much to
I
do.
can't imagine there was much outcry over those two
they
things.
take
They
it
were
out- if they-
pretty low key, weren't they? Before they took them out. Like
Kinda,
all I ever saw were people like saying like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty cool," I guess.
So
I never saw anyone
noticed.
complain about it.
I never noticed the Cammy thing when it happened, but I do remember when the Mika trailer first came out. When she did that, everyone kind of was like, "Did Capcom really make a character do that? Like dead center of the screen, she just slaps her butt. Like that's kind of unnecessary."
I don't know. I never saw it that way. I mean, I never. To
When-
me, it
when
doesn't look like that. Like it's just she does that. She just does it, and if it's part of her personality, it's like okay. I mean, it's not like she was like diddling herself or something. You know what I mean? She just slams.
But that's Tom. That's the thing, though. You just said it that it happened so quickly. You never even really registered it. So why is there so much outcry about it if it's literally like a 1 second frame? Or well, not 1 second frame,
because of the principle.
One frame.
Well, it's not that I didn't register it. It's that I didn't register it as a bad thing. I didn't go in my head and stick so out and be like, "Oh, that happened." It was
like this is when I first saw it. I was kind of like, "Okay."
I mean, but you care about it.
That's the thing she does.
This has been like a thing that's been happening for a while. I know that I remember hearing about an article that I looked up, and it's like there's 25 outfits that are banned from DOA 5 tournaments. You can't wear these scantily clad tournament outfits in tournaments.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I mean that got a lot of people up in arms. But I mean I don't know. I guess it was just the way.
When did they start banning? Did they ban them from the beginning, or did they just ban them?
It happened. It happened 6 months back, maybe.
Yeah. I remember when it happened, but I mean, when they banned the things, did they just ban them then, like when the article came out, or were they always banned?
Just when that article came out.
They were banned. They were banned from the release of the game. They were banned a while after people had been doing tournaments. The article was written March 4th, 2015, so it's last year, but still.
Yeah, I am looking at the same.
I feel like.
Well, when did Dead or Alive 5 come out?
Like PS3.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just an old.
It came out 2012, so yeah, it was 3 years old at that point already, almost 3 years old, and they removed these outfits. I think their excuse was psychological advantage.
Isn't that point? Isn't that the point? Isn't that the point? I mean,
not really.
And it was actually last round was the one where they got the outfits out of it, and that came out February 17, 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the point, fighting games, you're not going for a psychological advantage. You're supposed to. Well, you are going for one, but you're not going for one that way. You're trying to mold your opponent to do what you want them to do by conditioning them.
I don't.
So, you get them in a mindset.
I mean, I'm not into the fighting community. It just seems weird to me that if you're playing Dead or Alive, there's going to be banned outfits. I mean, if it was like Smash Bros. Or I don't know, something like Street Fighter, I could guess.
Well, I mean,
if the same outfits were applied to those games, I'd understand. But if you're playing Dead or Alive, then
I don't know.
It is a weird thing that happened. I don't quite understand why it happened, but
it would be different if it was banning the character themselves because the character had some overpowered thing or something, or the outfit did something to make that character overpowered, but it's just cosmetic, which makes it weird. Because, I mean, I guess if you think that some scantily clad woman is going to really get into the mind of your opponent, if it really affects them that much, there's probably something going on there. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just some controversial things that have just been coming up recently. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
It's a weird thing.
All the Nintendo censorship that's been happening lately. I know that's been on my hometown of 5chan. There's a lot of uproar of that.
Yeah, but, and
a lot of it's reasonable.
There's some dumb stuff that
They took my boob slider out of Xenoblade.
I don't know why they took. That's really dumb that they took.
Okay, so here's my stance on the boob slider. It's dumb to get angry over, but it's also dumb that they took it out. There's no reason to take it out, but getting so angry over it is kind of just
I mean, people are angry enough
why
to dox
take it
that
out?
Yeah, there's no
why move it?
There really was no reason to take it out.
I understand the outfits that they took out on Potato Chan. I forgot what her name was.
Okay, yeah.
But
taking out
because she's obviously a young character and
she's
having
13.
Those outfits. Yeah, she's obviously
she's 13.
Character. I don't remember
and how much.
I think they said she was 16 in the Nintendo version or the US version. Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean,
sounds like they changed it due to the age of consent.
No, that's definitely why they changed it.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure.
You could throw any outfit on her. You could throw the most provocative outfit in the game on her, and she looked like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, but she still looks like a 12-year-old. They can say she's 35, but she looks young. Like, I understand that, but like the boob slider didn't make any sense.
No, that was dumb. The game's rated T already, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty
There's
sure
no
it's
reason
T.
that unless like Nintendo's at this point, like we know 5-year-olds are buying our teen-rated games. Let's take out the thing that will make them giggle.
Also, the head padding thing from Fire Emblem, I didn't see any reason to remove that. I know a lot of people.
Okay.
I know you wanted it gone. You're like, dude, this is
that thing was weird.
It's not that weird. It doesn't make any sense to remove it, and they didn't entirely remove it, so it's not like you can get that mad about it. But like, it's just weird that they'd be like, you can't have this. It's too bad. You live in America.
I could understand the anger if they removed it and didn't replace any sort of way to get those buffs or whatever. But it's a weird mechanic. You literally are petting a girl's head.
Or guy.
I don't know if this is true, but can you do it to the guys as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can
So
do it to every character.
That's weird. They should take down Miitomo. You can pet the guy's heads too.
You can.
I pet
It's weird,
Tom's head
dude. I
today.
can't.
I better check the bubble.
Make sure that's all right. Yeah, but I mean, this is all sort of like spurred up too, and it got people were saying that it got that one girl fired, Allison Rapp or whatever her name was, that Nintendo employee.
All right, I actually finally I can chime in because this is something I know at least a little bit about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are pinning that on Gamergaters when it's actually rather different, and a lot of other things factored into it.
I mean, as of the article I'm looking at, it says that it was that Nintendo's claiming that it was that she was moonlighting on a second job. That's what got her fired. Although in Nintendo's like policies, they allow you.
Allegedly,
to have a second job.
she like strips on camera.
My favorite.
Allegedly.
I mean,
Well, they
know.
never, at least what I saw earlier, they didn't release any sort of info on what she did.
Yeah,
I
they
saw
just
some
said
stuff
she was.
about it.
I
But
mean,
didn't-
she's also said a lot of
Bastard.
other controversial stuff,
Mhm.
but if she was moonlighting on a second job, then I can see why that would get her fired.
Because her job in the treehouse was marketing.
Yeah.
She wasn't on the localization team, so she wouldn't have been able to remove.
She had
any
some
things
say
that
though.
will blame
She
her.
said she was pro boob slider supposedly. So.
She did say she was pro boob slider.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, talking about her controversial stuff, I don't really think that quite factored into what got her fired.
What controversial stuff did she say?
I actually have the tweets.
There was a thesis that she wrote in college supposedly about like
Oh yeah,
how,
I read that actually.
about how like Japan and child pornography and stuff. If you want to talk about it, Christian, go ahead.
Yeah. So her thesis was something along the lines of how America should kind of lax their child pornography laws because the laws in Japan are very lax and minimally enforced, kind of. And she also kind of talked about like the difference of age of consent.
Yeah, and people were saying that since
Let me pull up the tweet. Let me see if I can pull up the tweets.
Yeah,
Because I know I have them saved.
and people were saying that like since she said stuff like that, and Nintendo's a very family-friendly company, that would be a reason for her to get fired because Nintendo doesn't want her to one of their employees, someone who's
here's
representing their thing. Yeah, go ahead.
A guy named Ben Brown at Ben T. Brown tweeted at her, "But I study human development and research will guide my decisions on age-appropriate content for him." Her response, "And I study censorship and cultural ideas about child agency, so I'm pretty much going to force my kids to watch gore, etc." Smile face.
All right.
Oh, no, there's more.
Wait, she's gonna force her kids to watch gore?
No, I don't know
essentially.
about that.
At least as far as that's what I'm getting from that.
That's.
Well,
Did she specifically say
gore
that?
is
That's stretching. but-
Here.
gore is much.
I can't see that.
yeah, we
It's
can't
just a-
Well, no, we can't.
Never mind.
Gore is much different than making their kids watch like sex at a young age.
Well, like her thesis.
They're both kind of extreme, but
According to this
Spoiler.
article, specifically says
I'd
that
argue.
her-
Wait. Let's stop for a second. I want to say something. I'd argue. I mean, we can talk about this all day long, but I'm just gonna say this and then stop. Gore should be more of a worry. We should be more worried about gore than we should be about sex. Okay, and it's
But why?
I can
because,
kind of,
dude,
like,
would you rather have your kids experimenting with whatever they're gonna do? I mean, just like they're gonna be curious about that anyway, or would you rather have them see violence and destruction and pain and suffering?
when she says gore,
Well,
I don't know if she means movie gore or actual.
I'm assuming movie gore.
And
I'm assuming
like,
I don't know.
movies.
When you're a
If she
kid, they're indistinguishable
clarifies
to
that
an extent.
it's all fake. Even then, it's still a little.
Yeah, like when you're
like
a kid,
it might
it's
fuck up
indistinguishable.
somebody's mentality.
Well, there's no connection between gore and violence developing a violent person.
No,
There's a connection between a violent person being drawn to violent things, but there's no connection between violence developing.
Can
violence
you
into
have you
someone.
researched that? Have you looked into that? Because I mean, I always see. I'm not fighting against you because I kind of agree. Like that's what I would like to think because I've seen a lot of stuff, and I know my brother has too, and we're both super mellow and wouldn't really hurt anyone, or we're not violent people at all.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
don't know.
Brian grew up playing shooters. You grew up playing Call of Duty and stuff like that, and
Been playing Call of Duty since I was 8. My dad put me on a computer playing Call of Duty 1. Yeah, I'm not about to hurt anybody, so I don't know.
Let's see what else we got.
Violence in video games doesn't really do much, as far as I can tell. I mean,
Oh, here we go. Here's another.
okay.
If the guy is convicted of assault of a 17-year-old, that does not make him a child predator. Enough with the fucking ridiculous moral panic.
wait, did you say 17?
Yeah.
I want to agree with that.
Okay,
I don't know.
Because what's the difference?
so-
I mean, like 6 months. You really think there's a huge difference there?
I don't know if I really want
I
to get
don't-
into this giant argument about how, morals and ideals, but I mean,
But I mean, that's just some of the controversial tweets she said. That's not even all of them.
Okay, well
Yeah.
we're gonna avoid talking about that at least
Yeah.
today.
okay.
Yeah.
We're,
So I
gonna,
pulled
we're
up-
gonna move on. What are we
Okay,
gonna
can
talk
I
about,
get
maybe?
can I get one
Sure,
last
sure.
word in here?
sure.
So I pulled up a BBC article that talking about like academics and researchers, and it says that like exposure to violent video game stuff can have a short-term effect. Like playing 3 hours of Call of Duty might make you feel pumped, but you're
Yeah.
not going to go out and mug someone. Like you can get
Yeah.
a little aggressive, a little pumped after playing 3 hours of a violent game, but there's no evidence of long-term effects from playing violent video games.
It's the same thing with
no,
like
that
metal
I
music.
understand.
It's like the same thing
If
with
she
metal
means
music and stuff.
real life gore, that's where I kind of draw the line.
Well, because seeing real-life gore can potentially cause PTSD in someone.
I mean,
Knowing that it's real
if,
can cause
like-
post-traumatic stress.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm
And,
saying
like,
this
if-
topic is very divisive. We're gonna talk about the division now.
All right,
Okay,
yeah,
let's-
there we
let's
go.
talk about
We're
the
talking
division.
about
Wow.
the division.
King of segments right over here.
Being the only one here who's played the greatest game ever called Tom Clancy's The Division. I mean,
The rest of us can take a break. Bye.
Yep, see ya.
actually, I think it's pretty good. I know it's got like people are like panning it all over the internet saying it's like pretty horrible. I mean, I've never really had that much of a problem with loot 'em ups. I kind of like it. It's sort of monotonous, but I kind of like just walking around, getting some cooler loot, like seeing progress as I go. And I mean, the Division's pretty good at it. There's enough of like a world to explore, and it's pretty big and pretty expansive. I mean, it's glitchy. There's only one mission where I found to where like I've seen it all over the
Yeah,
internet.
but
It's the
you
same-
like glitchy games. You love Fallout 4.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
get out of here. We're not onto that yet. I mean, that one mission in the Division, there's one where you're at like a construction yard, and this like gate opens because it's like you do this one place in it, and then you go to the next place. It's basically how it, like sort of how like MMOs work and sort of something like that. Like for like quests and stuff, like you do one thing, then you go to the next. You know, just like any RPG basically. But like there's like one zone where you have to destroy these like gas tanks You destroy the gas tanks, and it's like, okay, move to the next zone. And a gate opened, and there was just no floor texture. I was like, oh. And I just walked on it and it just kept falling, kept falling. I've seen the video on the internet of like the same thing happening to people. Well, other than that, like one glitch, I really haven't seen much. That's like messed up
Speaking
with it.
of just shitty things that happen, you trudged through the Lara Croft. What's that one?
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, that crashed for you constantly.
On my Alienware laptop, it did not enjoy that game. It would crash. It was Rise of the Crash Raider. It would
But you still played it. You still played it. You played it for like hours and hours.
It was enjoyable.
On Steam, you would just see him go on like every like minute and a half. You would just see Ryan is playing the Tomb Raider, and what was this kid doing? It was
about every 15 to 20 minutes. The game would just
it wasn't 15 to 20, dude. It was
every 10
every minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Not every minute and a half.
It was
like 5.
It was like 5 minutes.
He had a few times. He had a few times where it was like 5 minutes in between seeing it pop up and
5 to 10 minutes. Computer. But I just set it up to when it would crash. I would just tap enter and enter because it would just like pop up with the window saying game has crashed. I'd hit enter, okay, hit enter. It would start up the game. Then I'd hit enter again and it'd just go back to my save. So in the game auto saves like every 3 seconds, so it really didn't matter. I wasn't losing any progress. I was just being really annoyed. But on my new computer, it works perfectly fine. I beat it the other day, and it was good, 10 out of 10. It was actually a really good game. I kind of like the first one a little bit better. I felt like the storyline in this one was good, but it kind of like it wasn't as it wasn't written as well as like the one that like the previous one, the prequel where she's like on the island of Yamatai or whatever. I like that one better, but it's still good.
I never beat that one, the first one, but I was talking to my friend about it. I was like, oh yeah, I got this far. And he's like, oh yeah, you're pretty much at the end. I was like, what? Because I felt like I only played it for like 3 hours or something.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how long I played it, but it felt pretty short. He told me I was like almost done. I was like, you're kidding.
I mean, my experience with the series, I played Tomb Raider Legends on the original Xbox, and then I played Rise of the Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider. So, I mean, I've only got one taste of like the older Tomb Raiders, and I mean...
I don't know, I've Rise or whatever the reboot was. I played that one. That was the only one.
Reboot basically just sort of turned her into what she is in sort of Legends, except a little bit like more realistic, obviously. Because I mean, Legends' whole storyline followed you getting Excalibur, and there was like a whole Aztec thing. It was really weird, but it was really cool. And I mean, they're just trying to boot it back into that. And I mean, it's basically just an Indiana Jones game, and that's kind of what Tomb Raider's always tried to be. It's sort of like you're exploring, trying to uncover like ancient mysteries, and I mean that's what Uncharted's trying to get into, and Tomb Raider. They're sort of competing for the same type of like really cool storyline centered around mythology. That's sort of like in trying to like.
I thought that's what Uncharted always was.
I mean, so that's the same, but Uncharted and Tomb Raider are basically the same game except a little bit different.
So what's the point of Uncharted existing then? Sony just wants to make money?
Yeah.
All right.
Sony wants to make money, and Nathan Drake is a cool character, and people don't get mad of them. People don't get mad about them reducing the breast size of Nathan Drake, but they do if you reduce the breast size of Lara Croft.
I don't know if anyone actually got mad at that.
It's because
people got mad.
Did they get mad? I didn't get mad. I didn't really see anyone get mad. I mean, people pointed it out, but they were like, yeah, it's more realistic.
No, there were people who got mad, but I think most were smart enough to be like, these are more realistic proportions.
Most people didn't care.
I'm alright with this.
I was more mad that they
changed realistic. The first one was an accident.
I was more mad that they changed like her facial model from the first reboot to Rise.
Yeah, I like the first one.
Sense.
The first one looks a lot better. She looks. She just looks weird. It looks off.
Something looked off about the new one.
Yeah.
Even when I saw like trailers for it, I was like, something doesn't look right about his face.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool, but yeah, Division's a good game.
Yeah, I was gonna say we left the topic of Division pretty quickly, but
because Ryan's the only one who played it.
Well, I might have bought it, but I didn't see myself spending $60 on that game because I played the beta, and it just I don't know, it seemed like monotony of the game.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of games are like that, and I play a couple that are like that, but just like that one didn't click with me.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough for the season pass.
I mean, as of right now, there's no content out, so I can't say much about it, because the only thing I got with the Season Pass right now is like an outfit, but once some more content starts rolling out, maybe the Season Pass will have been worth it, but I just need to make sure.
Because there is that content locked behind the Season Pass.
It's basically that like you won't be able to do like all these like missions that are going to be coming out without the Season Pass, so it's going to leave you behind everybody else, which is sort of what happened with Destiny. I never bought the Taken King because I just got bored of Destiny after a while, and Hayden wanted me to go back and play it with him, and I was just like, I don't have the Taken King, and I don't plan on buying it. I mean, it's not enough there for me to keep playing. I never reached max level in Destiny anyway.
I heard it was a lot better
deleted it
than any of the other DLCs that Destiny had.
Yeah, I don't know. I had the original Season Pass, and I just got like burned by it, Destiny so bad that I just didn't want to buy the Taken King.
Well, from what I heard, that one actually made the game worth playing, but I don't know. I don't think I got that.
And that's what I heard too.
Yeah, I heard it was good, but
it's
just
still
still
wasn't.
wasn't.
My time playing.
And it changed the voice actor of the
Peter Dinklage to Nolan North or whatever. Yeah,
which I would say is a much better change.
They took out Dinklebot, dude.
Yeah, but
I thought it was a weird thing to do post game
the entire time.
But he's a robot. He's like a ghost. It didn't.
Peter Dinklage didn't do the line readings that well. I'll give it to that.
I mean, sure, but like, they literally took him out of a finished product. It's like really weird to me.
That's what people got. Like, we're just weirded out about it. But I mean, overall, I think it was sort of an improvement. He still got his he doesn't care.
I mean, I will always pick the voice of Nolan North over Peter Dinklage. No offense to Peter Dinklage. Well, he's a great actor.
Yeah, he's not a voice actor though, is he? He's not a voice guy.
No.
He voice acted in the Game of Thrones Telltale game, but other than that, yeah, no.
Well, he's basically acting in that.
He's voice acting himself.
Voice acting is basically acting. You're just not.
But like, it's Peter Dinklage voicing a character that Peter Dinklage plays.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but the Dark Zone's pretty cool. I really haven't. It's not been like the chaotic thing that they said it would. They were like, "Oh, always watch your back." Like I just went in there with like 2 other dudes, and we just walked around shooting a bunch of like the NPCs, getting a bunch of loot. I mean, it is pretty fun when you like call in the extraction helicopter, and then you're all like hiding there, shooting all these enemies that are running after you. Then as soon as the helicopter gets there, you see like 15 guys run out of nowhere in the middle of like a blizzard. Just put the Dark Zone in the Division. Oh. You'll see like 15 guys come out of nowhere in the middle of like a blizzard, put their like little bag full of contaminated items on there, and just bolt it because they don't want to get shot by anybody else.
I mean, that sounds about as exciting as the entirety of Grand Theft Auto 5 free roam.
I mean, sort of. What, Mike?
The Dark Zone might not be as bad as Ubisoft first thought it was going to be because most people are playing like how you are. They're not trying to steal loot. They're trying to find their own loot.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
that takes.
They didn't count on the good intentions of the player.
Their first intention or their first thought was that every single player was gonna be just evil and just try to kill everyone else. They didn't count on actual nice players.
Yeah, my one confirmed kill in the Dark Zone is some guy who was already rogue and like attacking my teammate, and he was in like in the subway, so I just ran down in the subway and shot him in the face. So I acted as the Division.
Like, if you're gonna build a zone that's pretty much specifically for people to betray each other, I mean, you should probably expect a lot of people to not betray each other. It's not specifically
for betraying each other. It's so like, you can get
specifically for the opportunity to betray each other, because it sounds like they're telling you somebody's gonna betray you.
It's more of like a risk-reward scenario. Like, you go into the Dark Zone, and there's a risk that you will get betrayed, but you get a lot better loot in the Dark Zone.
But they just make it sound like there's a higher likelihood that you're going to get betrayed.
Well, that's how there's
realistically is.
That's how they're marketing the game. They're like, oh my god, at any moment, your friends could turn on you. Like, in the original trailers for the Division, like, when they showed off the Dark Zone, it was all about that. It was all about, like, oh my god, we all got loot. That's so cool. And then, like, the helicopter got there, and the guy's like, I'm going rogue. And he shoots, like, all his friends. I mean, it's sort of that way, I guess, in the Division, but I really haven't seen that. I've seen some people go rogue, but most of the time it's just a lot of people trying to work together to get some good loot, which I'm fine with. The missions have been okay. They're a little hard if you're doing them by yourself, but obviously it's meant to be a game that you do with people. Matchmaking's pretty good too. All you have to do is, like, it takes like a minute to get a game, and you just automatically are put into a lobby with other people playing on that same mission. So I don't know.
It's like Destiny in this. It's like Destiny in the sense that it's kind of a pseudo MMO.
Yeah.
Where you'll go into the groups of 4.
That's what it is.
The group finder.
We gotta speed things up a little bit here, so I'm gonna move us along, and we're gonna go to the forest. We're gonna talk about the forest since all of us have played that.
Wow, skipping quite a few.
Yeah, well, we're running out of time, so I mean we don't have a ton of time.
I mean, yeah.
A lot of the updates have been a little bit disappointing. I mean, I didn't expect them to add a ton, but they haven't really added enough to keep us coming back since our initial when we played it a ton.
Anything story we were at, we beat the parts of the story that like are already there. Basically, we went to like the place where the cannibals are in the caves. We fought the giant Wujibo monster, whatever you want to call it, the giant like spider monster, the giant guy who
the Wujibo.
Yeah, we beat the spider lady, we beat the cowman, and we beat the tentacle guy.
And we went into the big hole, which is basically the most interesting thing in the game. Yeah, like when you see that hole, you're like, is that a freaking glitch, dude? Like,
yeah, it looks like a chunk error from Minecraft.
Yeah, and then you look at it, and you're like, there's shit down there, dude. I want to go down there, and it becomes like your focus. You're like, I want to do that. I want to go there. Like,
I don't like having. I'm sure the invisible walls around it will disappear, but I mean, like, I should be able to just jump the fuck in and die.
No, you die.
Kill yourself.
You would immediately die.
I know that'd be kind of OP though, because you'd only need one of the people in your group to go down there. Because the way that the forest works, you don't like automatically die. You go into that one state to where they can revive you. So you could just jump down. If somebody's already down there, they could just revive you, and you're already down there. That's sort of the reasoning I think behind it. Plus, they have to load it, and I'm pretty sure they don't dynamically load what's down there. I don't know if they do, but still.
I'm sure they'll add on to it as the game goes on.
You want to tell Christian about your time jumping off the side of the cliff inside the sinkhole?
Yeah. I don't remember the specifics, but were you there, Christian, when we were going in the caves and I fell off?
I think so.
We were all in the game.
Yeah, we were all in the caves along the thing, and I was like, I'm just.
I think Christian was outside,
and then I slipped. Yeah, you weren't there, and then I slipped. You were probably there when we heard it, and I slipped into the fracking hole.
You were edging. You were like getting closer to the edge. You were going like inch by inch, and then he just
and then I backed up or something, and I just went over, and I was like, "Bye, hello, darkness, my old friend."
I mean,
the sinkhole was definitely cool to get to. There's a ton of stuff in that game that you would not find.
Like I said, the sinkhole was like the focus. Once I saw it, I was like, "We need to go in the sinkhole."
But like, there's one thing I discovered that I think is the best weapon in the entire game.
Katana?
No, even better than the katana.
Even better than the katana?
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Okay.
Are we transitioning? Is that what we're doing?
Well, one, it's the flaming rock.
It's the flaming what?
It's the flaming rock. You just combine rock with cloth and then light it on fire, and you can just walk around with a rock that's on fire.
That's true.
Well, with the forest, we are getting some small stuff that's clearly looking like it's gonna go to.
I mean, they added catapults in the last update.
We got the catapults.
No, yeah,
they update or two.
It's good that
an update or two ago.
All right.
An update or two ago, they gave a snowshoes, probably pointing to the fact that they're probably going to expand the snowy mountain area.
Yeah, I hope they do that too. Because when I got there and there's like nothing there, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of." And then the mountains are all glitched. You can get on top of the mountains, and I was just up there with the fire, just like, yeah.
And the cannibals can't get you up there.
There's nothing that can get you up there.
Yeah, once the cannibals don't become a big deal, the entire game becomes a lot easier.
I mean, we had like Endor basically. We were just chilling on like the top of like the.
Yeah, and that's a really smart thing. The only thing is, I think like later in development, they're gonna have like the Wajibos be able to climb trees and also climb bridges.
Well, that defeats the purpose of even having a tree house in the first place.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're gonna do that.
And they can already climb trees.
They can already climb trees,
or they might be able to
and they can
like ranged weapons.
If you make like bridges between the houses, they can tear those down too. So I mean, they have some stuff. They can't get you when you're in your house, but they can get like a fucking like system of going between places.
They might be able to start breaking into houses though. They the last update I noticed a note that said the strong ones, like the prime ones that go out in the actually run around, they are more aggressive at attacking house walls and stuff now.
I mean, they
you
can't.
mean like in the trailers when they could just break a wall down with like one giant swing?
They can.
I don't think it's gonna be that much, but they're probably gonna actually attack walls more than what they do now.
They couldn't. As of like the last update we played, they couldn't attack a treehouse, but they could attack like the things connecting the treehouses. So I mean, overall, like that could still screw with you because I know we had like a whole system of where we just connect each other's treehouses to ourselves, but like. That game, as of now, it's not. I didn't really care too much for the building. The building was there and stuff, but it was more of the exploring thing, going into those caves, running around, fighting the little Emperor Palpatine babies.
I still haven't
gotta explain
seen
that.
a
You gotta
single
explain
one,
that,
by the
Ryan.
way.
Well, like all those little babies, their attack is basically Emperor Palpatine's attack from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, of Star Wars. No. Like
No,
when
they did like a jump forward and spun.
When they figure out that he is the Emperor and not who he says he is, he's the Dark Lord of the Sith. He, like Mace Windu and those other Jedi just walk into the room. They're like, "Oh, we're here to arrest you," and he's like, "No," and does like this weird ass flip.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's their attack.
And thus coined the term Palpatining.
Yeah, they Palpatine at you. And
I thought it was maybe because they might look like him after Mace.
No,
with him.
No.
They did a funny jump.
I mean, eventually I just figured out where to find everything in that game. Like I found the katana first, and then I found the snorkel gear. Then I found
for being random procedurally generated.
It's not
kind of-
procedurally generated.
Not procedurally generated.
No,
Or is it
not.
it's a fixed map?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fixed
Yeah,
I
map.
thought
But
I thought the items were randomized.
no,
No, I don't
the only thing
it's
that's
a
randomized
fixed-
is the spawn location.
Yeah.
Wherever
Well,
that.
If
plane-
you know the map, your spawn location barely matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Once you learn, you basically just have to run around until you see the landmarks, like that one tree or the yacht or stuff like that. I mean, it's a good game. It looks like once they finish whatever they're gonna finish,
Like
on
they're doing it bit by bit.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's good that they're actually rolling out updates, even however small they are, because it tells you that they haven't abandoned the game like a lot of early access games are. The developer just cashes out.
And I mean, I don't know if I'd rather have them go the way that they're doing with Minecraft, which is basically they stopped doing like what they used to do with the Force does, which they used to roll out like updates constantly. But Minecraft nowadays is just like,
They just
never
save
mind.
it all for a big one.
We're just gonna go
So-
one giant update after like a year.
Christian, don't take a look at that now because it takes a crap ton to load, and I don't want to kill anyone's internet.
Yeah.
But that shows
I
literally.
won't look at it now.
There's a map
That shows-
of the forest.
It shows literally every single thing in the forest on that map. It shows the whole cave system also. It's huge.
All right.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
We're gonna
big-
move on now. We're gonna go to Payday 2 microtransactions,
Ooh, fun.
and I know
Yes.
Christian wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because, like, once they started rolling out the drills and the safes, I think they tried. Like, I watched Jim Sterling's thing on this, and he talks about how they try. Like, they're basically trying to be like TF2.
Or CS:GO.
Yeah, and the skins give you stat boosts.
Yeah, that's the only. That's the thing that people have been having problems with, basically.
Yeah, and also just the fact that, like, you have to use a card to get it. Or
I mean,
to get
basically,
cards.
yeah, basically, people were already annoyed with the Payday drop system. As you guys know, we've all played Payday 2, and the drop system is total bullshit. It's just you pick
It
a
really
card
is.
and it's random. Oh, it's so great, guys!
Well, how's
but
it-
I
how's
like, I
that
was
any
fine
different
with
than
the
just from
random
getting
card
random
thing.
loot? How's it? I never had a problem with the cards.
Like, I was fine with the random card
Well-
thing, but I didn't like that was the only way that you could get gun attachments.
exactly,
Yeah,
basically,
okay.
because I only
And-
used the Car 4 in that game, and I've always wanted a long barrel for that gun. Never got one. I've been playing this game for 2 years, still haven't gotten a long barrel for this car.
Dude, it can't. Wait, I thought it came out in 2012.
Yeah, sorry, I've been
I've
playing
been
this game.
for 4 years.
Yeah, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I still have not got my car
Yeah.
barrel.
In August, it'll be 4 years old.
I I've gotten like that
August
weapon.
24th, I think it was.
Basically, I'm just annoyed that like they fixed it sort of back in when it first released. The cards were literally random. You could get any attachment for any gun. But now I believe the system works to where you can get any attachment for any gun you own and that you have bought. So if you only have one gun bought, you'll only get attachments for that gun, basically.
And I don't think the gauge packs quite help.
No, they don't.
Like that was their way to try and rectify it, but I still don't think that's enough.
Those gauge packages, they don't give you like, I mean, it's nice. I've used some of them to get like extended mags and stuff, but like overall, I'd rather them have like had some way to buy any attachment in the game.
Also, they only each kind of pack only rewards a certain attachment.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Even with like hackers who can spam like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds per game, even if like you have one of those in your game, if you don't have the gun that the attachment's for, you just have hundreds of attachments for a gun you don't have.
Yeah.
I think that's a big problem with that. And I mean, they do kind of like have an anti-hacker thing in that when you prestige, all of your spendable cash just gone.
Yeah.
And a significant amount of your offshore account. But
I mean,
none of that excuses the safes and the drills and this.
The stat boots, yeah, because they also the thing that people are pissed about is that you get those drills in card drops too. So instead of getting an attachment or a mask or a skin for a mask or something that you'd like, you get a stupid drill that you have to pay to open.
Like
that's really dumb.
TF2?
That's just a waste of your time. Like you could play a heist for like an hour or 2 hours. If it's a multi-day heist, you could be playing that heist for like 3 hours, depending on the heist. And the whole payoff to it is some stupid ass drill that you have to open using money. That's what people
you asked how it is in TF2.
Yeah, how is it in TF2 with safes and keys?
From what I remember, is you could get a Man Company box, or you could get like a weapon or sometimes a hat drop, something that just it wouldn't. None of those things would ever be like usable for crafting or upgrading or anything. They're just kind of there.
I'm not certain how it drops, but I know after a certain amount of time playing that I just started getting random Manco drops, random weapons.
Yeah, I think it's just what like you get them while you play. Yeah, and that's not how it works in Payday, and that's the problem. Because people play the heists so that they can get the card drops because they include like either attachments or like decorative.
I mean, it was bad enough to where people would do smash and grab heists or do that one ATM heist to where you could hide behind that like ATM like I used to where that's how you got
like it was bad enough that people were doing the 4 stores thing in 5 minutes just to get the cards.
It was just about how fast how you could do this heist as fast as possible to get as many card drops as possible. Because you used to be able to buy card drops, but they were so expensive. I wasted all my offshore account and all my spending cash buying those stupid card drops, and then I can't buy it.
I remember when they used to do that, but how would you feel if they just allowed you to buy attachments and have the card drops exclusively for masks and materials and patterns?
That's how it should
be better.
That would actually be
That's how it should have been in the beginning.
Because that'd be the best thing they could possibly do for it.
And also,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's just my personal opinion. I didn't like how high the price of all the DLCs were, especially for what we got.
Ryan just always waits till sales, doesn't he?
Per DLC.
Yeah, I just wait till like a sale and buy them all in like.
That's what I did. Which I think they're doing that intentionally because they know that people are up in arms or at least complaining about how high the DLC cost is, so then Payday 2 and the DLC all go on sale for like 75% off.
I can't really complain about it. I mean, I have bought all of them. I have every right to complain about it, other than the fact that you don't need to buy the DLC to play it with your friends. If I buy the DLC, you guys can all play it with me.
I just don't like that like a huge, massive chunk of the guns are
locked behind DLC,
exclusively from either like heist DLCs or gauge weapon packs.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big problem.
All right, we're
I
gonna
mean-
move on. We're gonna move on now. We're gonna talk about the already proven fake NX controller and the design, like the design of it, the terrible design.
I knew it had to be fake.
What?
Any screen that you can cover with your thumbs is fake.
One second, I'm gonna Google search
The way
this.
that it was set up, you could part of the screen was covered by your thumbs. I know it was like a minuscule amount, but why?
No,
Why
I
do
understand. I understand why that would be cool, because like it creates
Oh yeah, that.
a screen that
I
doesn't end, like a screen that just like you don't. I mean, it ends obviously, but like
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
off of the peripheral, what you're focusing on, it goes off. But that would also be extremely distracting because you'd watch something go off and you'd be like, "Oh, now it's covered by my hands. I can't see it anymore." But
Yeah,
but I don't wanna
say-
it creates a more immersive experience, I think. But just the shape of it made it look so uncomfortable
Yeah.
and weird.
Yeah.
Like I
I
could
was
see
about to say,
that design
the-
working, but not with that shape.
The screen wasn't much of a problem for me because I played phone games. I played we used to play zombies on our iPods in like
Very
high
much,
school.
Yeah.
That's never a problem using the on-screen joystick and buttons.
Well, like the
Well,
way
no,
that
you
it
know
worked-
what the rumor was during the thing that the screen was going to use this liquid technology that had the buttons raise off of the
Yeah.
screen, so you'd have physical buttons to push and just wherever you wanted them or wherever
And
you put them.
they were invisible to look at though. Like
That-
they were fairly invisible on look.
From what I've
so.
read, the technology has a ways to go, and you can see them, and they can only be in a set place. Which is when I read that just pretty much cemented the fact that it was fake, because Nintendo wouldn't adopt a technology like that unless it was going to really work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
No. My biggest complaint with the fakes was the shape. The shape just looked
The shape
uncomfortable.
looked really
'cause
bad.
the way you're
Yeah.
going to hold it is the
Yeah.
corners are going to dig straight into your palms.
There was no way
it's
to
going to
hold
hurt.
it. There was
It
no
didn't
way
look
to hold it.
ergonomic.
Well, there
Nice,
was.
yeah.
You're going to hold it like this.
Well, I mean, that's
How
what
do
I
you-
mean. You can't, and then you have to use this, and then your fingers would be like poking at the screen. It wouldn't work.
what you
Well,
guys
you
It
can-
looked
use your thumbs
pretty.
mostly.
It looked pretty small too. It looked pretty small for. If
for,
they're
like,
running
a
that out
console with
as
that
like
much power.
if they're running it out as like the successor to the 3DS, and like if that part of the rumor is true, like they're running it out to be like that's the handheld and it works on its own, and also the console works. They look pretty small for that.
Yeah.
And what you were saying a little bit earlier about like the iOS games, the way that they always work though was like your thumbs are in the bottom sectors of the screen,
Not
and
in the
not
center.
like in the center of the screen covering up something.
But your hands weren't in the center of the screen on the NX leaks.
It was though.
Yeah,
like
they were.
if
They were. The
if you
the
saw it-
thumbsticks were in the center.
yeah, the thumbsticks were in the center, right next to like where it was.
So the bottom line is it's absolutely fake, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
proved it already.
I didn't
Oh, it's
actually
absolutely
like
right.
at first glance when I first saw that, when it was like I think somebody had shared it on Facebook or whatever, I knew like that's probably not real.
Yeah, even if they were going with a similar design to that, I knew that wasn't going to be the final design. That was just a concept, or have you seen the dev kits for the Wii U where they're just like squares, and it's just like a shitty little screen.
But like I
It
just
wasn't
don't
like
feel
anything
like
that.
they would put the buttons over the screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Unless
I
they are a
think that's something that
designated
Nintendo
area.
would do.
Unless it's like a big thing, because like I said, that's too small to have buttons overlapping the screen.
Well, but like you said, that's possible that actually would be the dev kit though for the NX. Considering you said that the Wii U was a tiny little box
Well,
with a
no,
crappy
it
little
wasn't like
screen.
a tiny box. It was like a huge, clunky box, like a big square thing. I've seen some of the
The-
pictures of the dev kits.
Well, yeah,
What?
well, some people were saying that that's what they thought it was. That it
Yeah.
was the dev kit
It-
for an NX. But
That's what I
it got
thought.
debunked.
It could have been. Like, my first thought, like,
What,
I thought
uh,
it's fake, but if it's not, that's not the final version. Because it's not going to look like that. And if it does, I'm not buying it.
Your
Yeah.
thumbs really wouldn't be that far in the. Well, the thing itself is probably, if that was the final design, it probably would be bigger than that at final release. But the buttons don't need to be that far off from those joysticks. Those joysticks are pretty close to size.
It's still pretty claustrophobic. Playing with your fingers are going to overlap the screen. Your fingers are going to go on the thing, and your fingers are going to be in the middle of whatever you're doing.
But it also depends on the design. That design that the guy leaked should have had wings on it. It should have wings that you could have held onto, so you can put your thumbs on or your fingers on the triggers and your thumbs on the joysticks comfortably. That design is dumb.
Yeah, I think I saw another like a sketch drawing or whatever of the thing, and I had wings on it.
Yeah,
which made a lot more sense.
Someone had it to where it had like a peripheral that had like what looked like a PS4 like controller, like things that go down.
Yeah, they
under it.
They have that for the Vita. I think they have Vitas with the wings on it.
Yeah,
I'm looking at a Destructoid article that's showing one of the leaked pictures, and then it has the original pan images on top, and the pan images have wings on it. So
yeah, which makes sense.
All right, now we can segue into the other rumors. I don't know if these have been confirmed or deconfirmed or any news at all about them, but like the rumors were that the handheld console is going to be its own thing and it's going to connect to the console itself. And Mike knows, you guys know, I don't particularly like this idea. I think it's kind of limiting to because that makes it so you have to develop games that are going to run and work on the handheld, and you're gonna get games. I don't know,
but
I think it's limited.
Okay, but depending on how powerful it is,
it's not gonna be.
You can see.
It's gonna.
You can see that. You can see it's possible though, because look at what game did we start out the podcast with? Hyrule Warriors 3D. It works pretty good on there without the 3D.
Yeah, sure.
Switched on, so.
Yeah, but what they have to do is
very different game from the.
It's going
to be a very hard console to develop for, because you'd have to develop scalable games basically. It would work when you had a handheld.
Because it's not going to be much more powerful than the Vita, which it's pretty good for a handheld, but it's not that great comparatively to something that's more powerful than the PS4, which is what. So you basically have
to like make it so when it's in handheld mode, the graphics become crap tier. Everything's horrible.
Yeah, the render distance is going to be shit.
The visuals.
And what you said about Hyrule Warriors is the way they do that on that. There's not as many enemies.
No, I know that.
But they're just bloated in more. So you'd have to change the structure of the game too. Just going from that. And if you want to run them at the same time, then how do you do that with the structure being different? You can do it. It's just it's gonna make games that are developed for handhelds that are just slightly better on console.
And it's gonna scare away the small amount of third-party developers that develop for Nintendo, which is you
won't be able to just port over something because you'll have to do a considerable amount of work for it.
One more rumor I forgot about, but I just kind of thought of now again was the cloud-based.
That's interesting.
That's in the same vein. People are saying that it would be what Tom's saying, where it's the handheld that you can that you can plug it into the console and it becomes a console. But they were saying that these devices can stack basically, and then you get more power. You get basically you could be better than a PS4 at that point if you have multiple devices. But then they were also saying that if you don't want to buy a bunch of devices or a bunch of peripherals, you can have it do cloud-based rendering and stuff. So you could opt into a program to where you
opt in a program where you're sharing the console's power online with everyone else.
Yeah, when you're not using it. Yeah.
When you're not using it, and when you're using it and other people aren't, then you're siphoning off their power.
Yeah.
Which would suck when a big game comes out and everyone's playing, and then your
that's the argument is. That's what the argument is.
Which it's a cool idea, and those times when games come out, so I guess ideally the more consoles they sell, the better, and it's I don't know. I guess the
better experience everyone
gets. It's a moot point. But not necessarily, because if they're selling games and they're selling consoles, then it's never going to get any better, because the more people have it, the more people are playing, hopefully.
But
the lesser games are going to run less better because everyone's playing their games.
But with time zones, also though, if all Japan is sleeping when however many people in America have it, and everyone in Japan is opted in for this,
Will
They'll
it run
probably
like
make-
that? Will it go across continents?
I don't know if
Because
they
people
internet,
already
so,
people
like-
already have shitternet, dude. I don't know if
Yeah,
you're gonna
I'm
be able to
guessing that
run consoles going
I'm
across
guessing
time zones.
it'll check your connection speed and like run something very simple on people with bad connections, and people with good connections it would run like the more heavier stuff.
Yeah,
but
if
I
they
don't
do
know
that, I
how.
don't know.
I'm not like an internet whiz, so I don't know how internet intensive that would be to
Probably very.
site that energy. Would you say
I'm
very?
assuming very. Because you have to. I mean, your fucking machine runs all day long, and you have wired connections. None of our shit's wireless yet, and then like none of it. You don't have components that just don't have wires, because it's not. It doesn't make sense. It's not feasible.
I mean, all we can hope for is that whatever is the NX controller, it's good, and that it. I don't know if the cloud-based computing thing will work, but if it
I don't
does,
think that's
I'm
true. I don't think
I'm
that's gonna
excited
happen.
to see. I'm excited to see what they can do with it, but I don't know if I'm gonna really be that like into it. I still haven't
I
bought a
don't think
Wii U.
that's too much.
I'm not going to probably.
That's too much. That's too much of like a concept idea. Like you always see these like radical ideas. Like you see the concept for the iPhone where it like opens up. You know that's not going to be what happens. If that's what happens, then
Not even.
then that's
But
crazy.
more companies are taking risks with concepts. Like LG just released. Is it the first modular phone, or one of the first
I
modular phones?
Don't know.
Have you seen the
What
new
is that?
LG
What does that mean
G5?
specifically?
Give me a second.
Okay.
I'll
modular phone.
So the LG G5 has, so you know, like the setup of the phone, like of the Android phones, you have like the bottom here that's like the touch panel. So right below that touch panel, you can pull it off, and you can swap out parts. So you can buy a high like a super HD camera extension. So you pull off the bottom, you throw on the better camera,
Yeah.
and then you use that for like whatever freaking megapixels that new camera is. You can take it off and put on a high quality external speaker. There's a thing that allows you to set up a little robot that roams your house, keeps an eye on everything, and you can just look at the camera and look at your phone and keep an eye on what the robot's
I guess
looking
that's
at.
neat, but what I'm going to say is why not just build a phone that has those things?
Because that phone will be incredibly expensive.
If you're going to buy all these extensions, it's going to be
It's
expensive
so you're
anyway.
only getting the features that you
I mean,
want.
I
so-
understand that, but like they have phones that have those features. Just buy the phone
No,
that you
but,
want that has that feature.
Tom, like, look it up because
Well, I
the
can't
camera,
right now.
the
Yeah,
camera
it's like-
add-on that they send you that you can buy is like big. It's a big camera that you can buy for it.
And then there's the removable battery. The
They
Mhm.
already
back.
have that stuff like that for phones. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
What?
it's a pretty big back camera.
You can buy a 360-degree cam that comes with it, or
Yeah.
you can plug into it.
VR.
They made a VR headset for it.
Yeah,
it's probably shitty.
and always on display. I mean, it looks cool, and I mean,
Oh yeah, there's the.
I've seen the original concepts of like those modular phones, and I thought like that was a cool idea, but the implementation of it would be pretty hard. And I mean, if they're going for it, go for it.
as far as I
Well,
can
you'd
tell,
you'd have to get every company on board with one thing. I mean, they already did that except for iPhone with like the micro USBs. They all use the same connections right now, don't they? Like every phone except for
Yeah.
iPhone.
Well,
Don't
that's
they all
because
have the
every
same-
phone runs on. Yeah,
Maybe.
Oh,
phone
basically
use-
everything runs on Android. Do the
just
Windows?
about everything. Just about everything uses micro USB right now,
Okay.
except iPhone.
Yeah, see, they did that, but like, you'd have to get every company on board with designing for the same input-output systems and all that, and having they couldn't have proprietary things, otherwise it would be pointless.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, all-
you can have a module. You can have a Cam Plus module as well as a. As far as is that a micro SD card that you can add storage with?
That's
you
a
already
whole new
asked?
revolutionary
Yeah.
software.
Wow. Micro SDs.
Most-
Hey, I'm just
most-
I'm reading what
I
I'm
know.
saying.
I know.
Most Androids right now have expandable
Like so, yeah. Memory.
s-
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah, everyone does
options.
except for the
iPhone doesn't though.
which is the one
Yeah.
thing that I hate about iPhone that I wish I could change.
Basically. You just have to buy more, like pay $100 more to get like
Yeah.
32 more gigs of data.
$5
And I'm
a
like,
month, I think
thanks.
I pay more on my bill for the 65 than the 64 gigabyte than the 32.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it has a fingerprint sensor. Well, a fast.
That's revolutionary.
iPhone
So
has it.
I guess
Yeah,
But
Didn't they lose the
evidently
patent?
it's-
I remember seeing news
Evidently, it's
when
better
this-
than the one that.
I have no idea if they lost
I don't
the
know.
patent.
Who was I complaining? I think it was Christian I was complaining to. The iPhone one does it when I don't want it to. It's like stop.
Yeah, I'm quite the opposite. It won't work when I want it to.
Yeah, on the 6.
Mine-
On the
That's
6S,
why I don't use it.
It literally
Mine
goes
works
like
perfectly
if I put my thumb on the button and then push it, it opens the thing. Like if I put it on there for like a half a second, and then like it takes a second to open the lock screen, and then the phone
Well,
opens, and I'm like, stop. I
In
just
that
wanna see
case,
what's
I
on the
don't
lock
think
screen.
you should get the LG.
Yeah, that's what mine does too.
In that case, I don't think you should get this one because there's a fingerprint sensor on the back, right below the back camera.
Sometimes
so
I don't
that-
want to
yeah,
open
so-
the phone. Sometimes I just
The,
want to see
the
the
point
lock
of it
screen.
is so that when you're whipping out your phone, you can just press.
you can just do this. You can just
Yeah.
literally do this, and you can scan your fingerprint
But, like,
instead of
what if you don't-
instead of doing
necessary.
this.
And it'll open even without you pushing a button.
No, you probably have to at least.
Because
Yeah,
it
you have to
already
put your finger on the
it
sensor.
doesn't matter because it already does it when you put your finger on the home button to open it anyway. Like it registers your fingerprint before you even push the button, or before you even push the button. So the screen's dark, you push the button and then it opens, and then your screen cut, and then your phone unlocks from your fingerprint.
But the whole reason I brought this up was basically because I see Android phones actually taking.
Yeah, they're actually
Some
taking
chances with
into-
Well, yeah, they're taking risks, and
Well-
if it pays off for them, good.
I mean,
Then they-
speaking of
that means
taking
that,
risks, speaking of taking risks with phones, Miitomo, Nintendo's big risky app.
Is that even a
Oh,
risk?
wow.
What do they lose if it doesn't work? Nothing.
They're not.
Well,
losing
it's their
anything.
first foray into mobile app development. Basically, they're trying to basically. People are saying it's sort of risky because now they're doing like mobile apps. They're sort of opening up like Pandora's box here, and like their shareholders are going to try and get them to like develop
Games.
apps for the 3DS and for the iPhone.
No, see,
But I don't think-
I'm glad that Miitomo is their first thing, and it's not like a Mario game.
Yeah,
It's not a game.
I
it's
mean,
just
it must
a
be paying
social-
off because it's already #1 on the US iOS App Store.
I mean,
I guess
download-
what
It hasn't even
I-
been 24 hours.
I'll say is the bigger risk is that they're panning their whole My Nintendo Rewards program basically on the shoulders of Miitomo.
All right.
Miitomo's
I don't see.
Miitomo
I see
is
the
I really don't know that
it's
much
just,
about Miitomo
It's
to begin.
thrown into it just as a little bonus. You can get things, and you can
No,
be like, "Oh,
Mi-
cool! I got this thing."
no Miitomo looks like it's gonna be the biggest coin generator for the rewards program.
yeah.
It's designed for you to go back every day, do the little things, get your 20
Okay, I see what you
some
mean by
coins
that, okay.
every day.
Call your friends
And-
racist for saying they like white bread. You know.
Where
I don't
where
get
the rewards program does have stuff like if you buy a game, but here's the thing: you have to buy the games digitally.
You have to. There's no codes or anything anymore.
You don't get points. I don't think you get points for physical purchases. I'm pretty sure you have to
I
buy
never
it digitally.
Where'd
I
you
never
read that?
bought.
Where'd you see that?
on the My Nintendo website.
Really? That's stupid.
Let's see.
I never bought the games physically anyway. The last game I bought
Yeah, I
physically
haven't-
was like
Yeah.
Farming Sim
Tom.
15.
If you go on the My Nintendo website, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it gives you was 8 different options of downloadable game purchase,
All right.
ranging from $5 to $10, all the way up to 70 or more.
All right. Well, we need to keep moving, and we're going to talk about our last topic, which is going to be the PS 4.5 and our opinions on that. And since I bought a PS4 in the last year, I'm pretty upset because they're going to be my console's going to be flushed out basically.
Inferior.
Yeah, it's going to
Well,
be.
here's my
inferior
opinion.
console.
I don't buy consoles. No offense. So
No offense, you fucker! How dare you?
Christian, you've offended me.
I only buy nowadays. I only buy the games that I know I can run on my laptop.
Well, yeah, because
Why don't
So-
you just replace your graphics card,
he
Christian?
bought a new one.
I
He's got a
already did.
960, didn't he? Didn't you say he got a 960 or 920? Do they even have a 920? Is there a 920? I don't even think so.
I don't
No,
remember
there's-
exactly what it was, but
I'm pretty sure there's a
It's
960
9
980.
960,
Whatever the
970,
case,
980,
that-
980 Ti.
like that fixed a problem. Now there's another problem.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. PS 4.5. The rumors are...
What is it? Like,
Well,
I've
from what
heard,
I've
like,
it's
nothing about it.
It's a PS4 with an upgraded GPU supposedly that is going to be able to upscale to 4K so it can
I've heard
run in
the-
4K resolutions.
I've heard the
and
4K thing.
The thing that makes the most sense that I've been reading is that it's going to be something that lets you either just upscale games to 4K and watch 4K Netflix and YouTube and stuff like that. So it's not going to actually like run games at 4K or really
But
do anything.
does
And
it-
it's going to give you
No.
probably minor performance like upgrades.
Doesn't the PS4 already stream at 4K, like Netflix and YouTube and stuff?
I don't think so. Because it has an HDMI 1.0, I think. That's what I read, because the new one's going to have HDMI 2.0.
Well, branching off what Ryan said, it's not it's rendering the games to 4K, it's upscaling it.
Yeah,
4K.
yeah, it's going to upscale
So
games.
it's running the games at 1080p. It's just upscaling to 4K, so it looks a little better.
Yeah. Like,
So it's not native.
yeah.
So it's not going to be a huge jump in technology. It'll be a better GPU, but that's probably about it.
Well, I don't know the basis of any of this. I really don't have any basis for any of these rumors besides what I've seen people talk about.
I don't think anyone has basis on PS 4.5 right now.
Besides the fact that Sony hasn't said anything otherwise about the PS 4.5, it's all conjecture. But like they're saying, like it's gonna have a GPU that's 2 times better than the one that they have right now, and I don't even know if that makes sense because the 4K is literally 4 times better than 1080. So, I mean, and basically,
saying it's gonna be 2 times better than the current PS4s.
is a lot too.
That's a lot.
That's a big difference. Can they even? They're gonna have to like
'Cause-
redesign the whole system basically.
What's the PS4's GPU equivalent for like a computer?
I'm not
Fucking
sure.
like a 750 Ti.
So this PS4 is going to be 2 times better than my PS4, but 2 times 0 was still 0, so...
It's an AMD Pitcairn
What you gonna
GPU.
do?
Doesn't it have 8 gigabytes of VRAM, which is like all used for the OS basically.
Yeah.
Which I will
So-
say is fast, but terribly designed. I hate the OS. I hate the UI for the
Apparently-
PS4.
Okay, so according to a forum on Tom's Hardware, so I don't know
Yeah.
how like
Comparable to a
this
GTX
is-
580, 660, or 660 Ti.
he's reading the exact same thing as me.
Yeah. See.
Thanks,
I
man.
mean,
Thanks for being.
Or
a real
if you
pro.
want to go to like an AMD side, it would be comparable to an HD 7870.
so
So,
shitty. Really shitty.
What would double the GTX ones be in like the 700 series maybe?
No. What'd you say? 760 Ti or 650 Ti? Is that what you said?
660 Ti or GTX 580.
So, 6580.
It's bad.
Probably like 960, 970. I'm not exactly sure on the specs on those things. On the 680 or whatever we said.
Here I'm going on GPU boss. So
But yeah, I mean,
I feel really shitty that they're gonna blow me out like that after I bought their console. I mean, it's not that big. It's not that big a deal. I don't have a 4K TV, so I wouldn't be interested in buying one anyway because then I'd have to go up to drop another $700 on a new TV.
well,
Even though the
according to
performance
this,
difference, even if the games ran a little better, even at 1080, that'd be like if I could play Bloodborne at like at least even stable 30, possibly 60 frames, that would be down at 10. But then they could, for less money, they could just port their stupid game to PC, and then I'd be happy.
okay, Ryan, take a look at this page. Does this look like the PS 4.5 would be better than the 980 then?
What does it say?
Like, look at the benchmarks on it. Like, am I reading the benchmarks right, or?
What does it say? I can't look at it.
I mean,
Because the benchmarks are less than or more than half of the 980.
I don't think it's gonna be what they're saying. I think it's gonna be better, but not that much better.
double.
It's not
doubles
running 4K natively.
No, if it was double the current GPU, it could probably run.
PS4 can
4K.
barely handle 1080p.
Nah.
You can barely handle it. Like
That's-
games that are remastered games are basically the only things so far. Or games that don't look super well, like you see Bloodborne is one of the, especially when it's like a really good looking game, but it doesn't run that well. Not even close.
See, but the thing that makes me kind of skeptical is they're saying that there's going to be a better CPU that'll raise the price only $100, but a GPU that's double the power and not affecting the price at all. It's kind of weird. That doesn't sound right at all.
If you want to buy a game, if you want to buy a graphics card to run you games in 4K, I mean, I guess if we're holding it to the console standard of 30 frames per second, which is basically what it is now, you don't have to, like a 970 would be okay. But that's still a $300 card.
Yeah.
And that's one, like...
But you also have to take into account
the price of the current PS4.
that they mass order these so they get a deep discount on it.
But still, that's like a crap ton of their...
No, but only $100 raise for a better CPU and an incredibly better GPU.
Well,
that's
they're
weird
also
sounding.
lowering the old one by $100 because, I mean, as of now, when did the PS4 come out?
2012, right?
2014?
13? Is it 14? I have no idea.
I'm gonna check.
It might be 14.
I think it's
2013.
13.
November 15, 2013.
Okay.
It's been 3 years, Mike. The parts that went into it originally are probably cheaper. So it's probably cheaper.
Well, I'm not
to
arguing
use
that.
the old
but-
one.
There's another thing that kind of bugs me. It's only been 3 years
Mhm.
since the PS3 came out, and they're already like
PS4,
pushing it away. I mean, it's still a PS4, but like...
Do
I
you
don't know.
think that's in reaction to Nintendo?
What, with the new
It's probably
3DS?
no, not Nintendo. It's more in reaction to the Xbox One rumors, most likely, to where they're saying that they're going to make it modular, basically. Well, not modular, but they're going to be basically you can.
It works with PC.
No, it's not. I guess it is sort of modular. What they're going to do is like you're basically going to be able to build your own Xbox One, sort of like a PC.
That's basically modular.
Yeah.
I never heard that. Really? When that?
So you're telling me that I can't run, when I get this PS4 or 0.5 allegedly, that I can't run 4K on my Iconoscope television from the 1930s?
I mean, you...
I have no idea.
I'll be damned if I won't try.
I think it's like something that Phil Spencer said, that he wants to be able to make it to where you could modify your Xbox One, but I'm not 100% sure on.
I feel like it would open up kind of a market to manufacture new parts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, hardware upgrades.
Going back to the new 3DS, which is the reinvention of the 3DS, do you guys feel that's different than the PS4.5 in like hoeing out your customers? Because I got a 3DS
no.
now.
It's in the same boat, dude.
It's in the same boat. Is
It's
it as
there.
bad though? Is it like, I mean, we obviously don't know what
What was the
PS4.5
price difference?
is.
What was the price
Um,
difference between an XL and a
$50?
new XL?
50?
I don't remember
How low
much.
was
When the
how low is the XL already when that happened? Well, it's probably the same price right now. It's probably the price hasn't changed. I don't think.
Because I don't personally feel I bought a new 3DS because I wanted one. But
Yeah, I bought a
they
new
also
3DS.
didn't make it necessary.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, the PS4.5 isn't necessary. I don't know. It's
So,
all conjecture. We can't talk too much about it.
The new 3DS XLs are running for, it looks like, 200.
200 and with the new 3DS XL or the 3DS XL?
The new 200 is for the new.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought there were 300.
No, 200. And
So an old one then would be like 100 something.
Old ones are 120. GameStop is selling them right now.
How
Refurbished.
much is the regular new 3DS?
Regular?
Yeah.
Just not the XL, or?
Yeah.
Are they selling those in America yet?
Yeah.
I don't think they're selling them yet.
Yeah, they are.
Without a
my,
game.
My friend bought one.
Did he buy it with a game, or?
I don't know. He said he bought one. I'm pretty sure he didn't buy an XL.
I know that there was like, that
Animal Crossing.
originally
You
you
can
couldn't buy one. You could only buy an XL. I know that originally in America, but I don't know about now.
Yeah, no. Originally they didn't port it over.
New 3DS.
$199. Oh, that was hard.
Let's buy the $199. No, that's the price of the XL. It can't be the same.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, there it is. I'm an idiot.
Should be. What is it?
I'm looking. Mike, did you find it? You looked at it.
No, I'm not seeing it on GameStop or
I don't see any regular ones. I only see.
That's weird. Maybe you did buy an XL.
I see the regular one that comes with Happy Home Designer.
Which is how much?
Yeah. It's
For $220.
Okay.
Yeah, $220.
And that's regular?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
the
regular
first.
one.
It's the first regular one that's in America.
That's only $20 cheaper than a regular one. Than
It's
an
$20
XL.
more.
Well,
It's $20
But the
more
reg-
expensive.
The regular
Well,
one
no, because
comes
the
with
game is $40 already.
Oh, sure.
So it's only $20 cheaper than the XL.
That doesn't sound
Happy
right.
Happy Home Designers 40.
Hello,
bucks?
Goggles fan.
Oh, I can probably, most likely.
I think so. My mom has it.
congratulations, everybody. It's April Fool's.
Ah, you bitches. Thanks for
Ah,
dating
April
the
Fools.
podcast, you whore.
Yeah, thanks, Christian. Anyway, why are we even debating it? Let's all buy 2DSs.
That's what I did. I got mine right
All
here.
hail the almighty
There it
cheese
is.
wedge.
Yeah, Happy Home Designer's
The
$40.
doorstop.
$50 if you want to buy the NFC reader with it.
All hail the doorstop.
Have you guys even noticed that I took off my glasses?
I noticed
Yeah,
you put on
I saw.
goggles.
No, I did not upgrade to the new 3DS.
I know you didn't.
And you
I
regret.
wanted to when it first came out, but then I was like,
There's no games.
this is nothing really worth it.
Well,
That's
what's good and
The only
bad
reason-
about it. You didn't have to as a
The-
consumer, but also if
You
you
could
wanted
have.
to, it's nice. They didn't force you to do it.
Well, I was already
The
in the
big-
market for an XL at that
Yeah.
point, and I was just like, oh, the new one's coming out. I'll just wait.
And me, I'm
The biggest-
a little bitch and wanted it, so I bought it.
the biggest incentive for me was Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Wii was impossible to find. It came out for that, but then I didn't buy it because I wasn't going
Because
to spend
it's one
200 on a
game.
console.
For
and
one game.
Because you
$40 on a
weren't
game.
really feeling it. You weren't really feeling it.
Well,
That's the
I'm
real
yawning, so, and it's been an hour and a half, so, well, almost an hour and a
Is
half.
it really?
Yeah, 122.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
going to wrap this up. We're going to say
Yeah.
goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining us, if you did. I'm assuming you did, if you got here. On our very first
You stayed here for the whole time.
The inaugural podcast.
the inaugural podcast where we talked about such polarizing topics as, I don't even remember what we talked about, pizza.
Oh,
and
before we
meters.
go,
Women in gaming.
wait, before we
I spent a
go,
long time on that.
my one and only joke, my one and only April Fool's joke that I pulled on Facebook a couple of minutes ago is just that I put, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. And then I put
Wow,
under the cut.
way to alienate our audience, Christian.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
on
you.
That note,
Thank
on that
you.
note, goodbye.
Have fun
Yeah.
anyhow.